Winning! Peace and love, family. Peace and love. It's your boy Chris Enlightened coming back again with some more spiritual battles. And today I'm going in on Ancestral Confirmations. Ooh, this is a good one, family. This is a good one. Ancestral Confirmations. Ooh. This is a good one, family, because our ancestors are always trying to get messages through to you. Your ancestors are always trying to talk to you, but until you raise your vibration, you might not even hear them. You might not even hear them. All your ancestors, known and unknown, chose you, and yourself chose yourself to be the ambassador of your family. You were chosen from everyone in your bloodline to be the one to take care of everybody to raise them up spiritually. If you have your ancestor altar up and nobody else in the family does, that's your sign that you're the ambassador of your family, family. Do you feel that? This is a huge responsibility. It's not by chance that you're drawn to this video. You don't know me. I'm one of a billion people in the world. But for some reason, you have your ancestor altar up, you're doing spiritual practices, you have it in your consciousness that you need to grow spiritually, and you have this burning soul desire, this soul urge to take care of everybody in your bloodline. You know, not everyone's like that in your family. More than likely, you're even the black sheep of your family, like me. So you need to really take a look at your spiritual self and see why you were chosen to be like this. And do something about it now that you're aware of it. But ancestral confirmations come in many ways. Most of the time, they come while you're at your altar. You'll be at your ancestral altar. You'll start saying your divine prayers. And all of a sudden, you'll just think about Aunt Betty or Aunt Emma or whomever in your family. You're just thinking about them. And all of a sudden, you start smelling their scent, smelling their peach cobbler, smelling their breath when they used to drink the little liquor. Whatever it is they used to do around you, they'll make you feel that to let you know that they're there with you. So if you start getting you start smelling black-eyed peas that smell like your granny's black-eyed peas, that means granny's out there with you. They know that you like to smell those black-eyed peas. You know what I mean, family? So you really got to be aware of all these ancestral confirmations that you get. My first ancestral confirmation came from my father. You all know my father wasn't in my life. I grew up in the hood, fatherless like the rest of my homies. No birthdays, no Christmases, no phone calls for years. You know what I mean? But when he transitioned and I put him on my ancestor altar, I started dreaming about my father. And I never dreamed about my father before. And he came to me in my dream and it changed my life. It changed my life. And he came to me in my dream to let me know that I needed to put his twin brother on my altar too. I put his twin brother on my altar, and to this day, I haven't dreamed of my father since. Because when your ancestors get a message through to you, they don't just keep beating you with the same message. So don't think, oh, they don't love me no more. You got the message. If your name is Junebug and someone says, hey, Junebug, and you don't turn around, they may say, hey, Junebug again. But if you say, hey, Junebug, and you turn around, I'm not going to be in your face talking about, hey, Junebug. It don't work like that. And your ancestors don't work like that either, family. So don't keep looking for things. Just be aware, be in the moment, and you'll get the confirmations and the messages that you need. Another way that you'll start getting ancestral confirmations, you'll just start hearing their name. Like my wife's granddad or great granddad, I think it was her granddad. Her granddad's name was Handel. Handel. And once she found that out, she started hearing Handel everywhere. And Handel's not a name that you just hear. And she starts seeing it everywhere, hearing it everywhere. You know what I mean? So that's another way for your ancestors to get messages through you. Sometimes you may just be out and about, you look at a license plate and it'll just say their name. You know what I mean? But since you're aware of it, you'll pick up on that message. You know? If you ever been to your ancestral altar in 3-4 days and you see your auntie's name or your granny's name, that could be a message from your granny saying, hey, sweetie, give me something to eat. You know what I mean? Sometimes you just be sitting there at your altar and you just get this weird sensation that someone's in the room with you. And more than likely, someone is in the room with you, family. There's always a legion of people behind you, at least 6 or 7 at all times. just watching you grow spiritually, making sure you got everything you need, family. Another thing you could ancestral confirmation, when you're at your altar and you have fruit on your altar for months and it doesn't decompose, that's letting you know that your altar's been activated. And whenever your altar's activated, you create like a quantum portal between your earthly domain and the spiritual realm that becomes a vessel that you can send things, energy, love, light, prayers, wealth, doors of opportunity over to your ancestors. That's the main thing that the ancestors' altar is good for. That's good for. It's making sure your ancestors are set up with what they need. So if you're thinking about, is my ancestors getting through to me? Be mindful of the way you feel when you think about them. Every time you think about them, they're thinking about you. Whenever you think about your ancestors, you're keeping their consciousness strong. You're keeping their consciousness strong. You don't have to go to a graveyard to be like, hey, I miss you, Granny. You know what I mean, family? So I hope you got some jewels on ancestral confirmation. Your ancestors are always around you. You're never alone. Never feel like you're alone, family, because you're never alone. So on that note, it's your boy Chris Enlightened. Check out my books on Amazon.com. Poverty Consciousness, Wealth Consciousness, Dissolving Your Limitations. And if you want to get your frontal lobe titillated, check out my book of poems, The Enlightened Taught. So on that note, family, peace and love. You already know what we doing. We out here winning.